you should give it a tap out. Oh. Woo. So the two things I wanted to go through about tapping out. One is tapping out when you're in the gym, and the other one is tapping out when you're in a fight. Now, when you're in the gym, the amount of arguments I've seen and the amount of people who have been training for a long time and didn't actually know this is part of the reason why I thought I'd make this video, is when you're in the gym, try and make sure, if you can, tap your partner when you're tapping out. If you're in a noisy gym and there's lots of music going around in the background, there's people rolling, it's busy, you may not hear someone tapping out. So, I've heard it before and I've had it before where someone's tapped out, then they've ended up shouting, then eventually the person's heard it, let go, and then, oh, why didn't you let go? Oh, I was tapping out, blah, blah, blah. But it's because the person didn't hear them. So when you can, make sure you tap your opponent, or I shouldn't say opponent, tap your partner when you're tapping out, yeah? Now, the other thing is as well, like I just said, I know I'm contradicting myself a bit here because like I said, if it's noisy they might not hear it, but also try and make sure you do shout, because there are some times where there might be traps, say, and they might not be able to tap you, so make sure you do shout, and if you can, tap your opponent, just go yep, 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 when they've got you. Another thing is as well, is a lot of it is down to being a good partner. If you've got someone in a submission move, you don't always even have to crank it on sometimes, you know what I mean? If I know I've got someone to hear, they are not getting out of it. All I need to do is turn it up and they're going to tap there. Sometimes get into that position and you might not even need to tap them. Just let go and carry on rolling. If they go to you, oh, why did you tap? Why did you let go? Just be honest with them. Just go, oh, I felt like I had it in deep, I didn't want to hurt you. Don't try and push the pain barrier to see how far you can push yourself, because you're just going to get too many injuries. It's not worth it. This game is about consistency. If you don't tap out, say like you really don't want to tap out and then you're trying to push it and then you end up getting an arm broke or something along them lines, you're not going to be able to train for however long it takes to get that arm fixed or sorted or whatever. The other thing is as well, is it might not ever get fixed properly, especially if you get a bad break. So if you can, make sure you tap out early. Now, going into fighting, that's another thing with fighting as well. If you are deep in a submission, I understand you want to try and fight out of it, but don't take it too far, yeah? If you get that arm broke, like I just said, you're going to be out for a long time. It's not worth it and it might not ever heal properly. Now, chokes. Obviously, you can try and fight that off and you might end up going unconscious. Fair enough, you've gone unconscious. But UFC treat it, when you go unconscious and not tap out from a choke, UFC treat it like a knockout. So that means you're suspended from being able to fight, I believe it's for 6 months if you get choked out, unconscious. Where if you just tap out, then you're free to fight. Say you get caught really quickly and you're healthy, you've got no injuries and you tap out, then you can fight again on the next show potentially. You can fight more often. So if you're deep in a choke and you know you're not going to get out of it and you'll feel yourself going, make sure you tap out. Now the other reason why you want to do this as well, because, now don't get me wrong, the referees are good and things like that, but if the referee don't realise you're going unconscious or you've gone unconscious, now this is rare, but obviously the longer you're unconscious for and they're holding that submission, starving the oxygen to your brain, eventually you're going to end up getting brain damage and then death. Okay? So, you want to make sure if you're in that choke deep and you're not getting out of it and you're going out, just tap out. Now, the only way I would say is acceptable not to tap out especially from maybe an arm lock or something like that, to try and fight your way out of it, is if you're fighting for a title shot. The only reason why I say that is because if you're fighting your whole life, your whole career, and you've got to that point fighting for a title shot, this might be your only shot. If you lose this fight, you might not get another shot. So that'd be the only time I'd accept my arm getting broken to try and carry on fighting to eventually get the win. Other than that, I'm going to tap out every time. Now, the other thing you've got to consider in a fight as well, which some people don't always know about, if you've got someone in a submission, you don't let go of them until they tap you out. Until the ref pulls you off, yeah? So if they tap you, you can still hold that submission. You don't have to let go of that submission until the referee stops it. So, when you've got the submission on and they're tapping, and just say the ref didn't see it and you let go, you might let go and then they're going to carry on fighting, especially if the ref hasn't stopped it. So, you can signal to the ref though, look, they're tapping, or if they've gone unconscious, tell the referee. The referee should be close to see. Now, when the shoe's on the other foot and you're being submitted, if you can, signal to the referee, make sure it's obvious that tap, yeah? If you're in a lot of pain in that, make sure that tap is obvious, make sure the referee can see it. Verbally tap if you can, and physically tap. If you can't physically tap, then verbally tap. Sometimes there are submissions where your arms are trapped and you can't get the tap, so you might have to verbal tap out. Let the referee know. But like I said, if you're the fighter, don't let go until the referee has seen it and broken you up. So that was just a couple of things I wanted to go through. They are quite sort of newbie things to go through, amateur, beginner stuff, but you'll be surprised how many people don't know it. So if your ref or your coach haven't told you this, I'm happy you've got this advice from this video. Check out this playlist where I've got other MMA tips and tricks and bits of advice to make you a better fighter. If this has helped, smash that subscribe button or give it a thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And let me know in the comment section what you think about this. Do you think that fighters should tap out if they get caught in a submission and although it's not hurting, it's doing damage? Like I said, I think they should. You're going to end up fighting longer and have a longer career. But let me know what you think.